homes by the senior divisional officer from Vogbekti in Yaoundé 6. These IDPs who are stranded are calling on powers that be to look into their plight. Center regional correspondent Khaled Lum tells us more.
For over 4 months now, some internally displaced persons in the Vogbekti quarters in the nation's capital have been asked to evacuate their newly found site by the subdivisional officer of Yaoundé 6, Joseph Alain Etoudi. After questioning these IDPs why they settle on government's poultry farm, the subdivisional officer asked them to leave the place. Going by these IDPs, after the subdivisional officer interrogated them, they pleaded, and he later invited his colleague, Mr. Elanga, who came and extorted the sum of 100,000 francs CFA from these IDPs and some 50,000 francs. Irrespective of this extortion, these IDPs at the Vogbekti new found home have been receiving new persons coming day in, day out, harassing them in the likes of the SDU. This week, the mayor of the Yaoundé 6 invited these settlers in his office. After the meeting with the mayor, these people were stranded, and since then, they have been asked again by the SDO to evacuate this site now, once and for good.
We don't have a place to go. If they can look for a place for us to go and stay, they should look at a place for us.
They should look at our situation. That's the only place we see we can work and feed our children. We are begging on the government to see to our situation. Please, Daddy, please, Father, please, our brother, help us. We cannot live here. We don't have anywhere to go. I am from Baminda. I left Baminda because of war. They have burned my house, my home. We don't have even a house in Baminda. They killed my 2 brothers before I left Baminda and came here.
All these actions going by these internally displaced persons is ongoing with the Minister of Lands and State Property, not of the no.
Government school. So in the beginning that will run from the war issue, we have nowhere to stay. But in the present moment that they surprise us, that we have to leave this place.
Encountering their losses after municipal authorities dismantled sheds and slush hammered all business structures set up by the roadside on instruction of the Mayor Dr. Emmanuel Leng. According to municipal authorities, owners of these structures had been notified before the demolition exercise, though one of the victims say he had been given authorization to operate his business. We had been authorized to set up our businesses here and asked to pay taxes. Mr. Mayor, there is no question. If there is a conflict in your administration, go and solve it. Do not come here and disturb business operators. The demolition exercise, according to council officials, is in a bid to fight urban disorder and give the town of Adeya a facelift. As council bulldozers fell on these structures along Major Street and those erected without authorization from authorities, some vendors struggled to save their property, but it was no longer time for negotiations as they watched their structures brought down. Although those affected have been cursing authorities for carrying out the demolition at this time, others acknowledge they had been notified and sensitized long ago, but they did not know when the exercise was start. With series of demolition exercises ongoing in the country, Cameroonians have been called upon to respect all procedures and modalities before construction. Now, the population of Akali Street in Kumbatu subdivision have embarked on the rehabilitation of their Quata roads through a Quata meeting known as the Landlords Meeting. This took place on Monday, March 21, as members of the Quata meeting came out with local those to work on the roads abandoned by the council for several years. Tamfu Sidwan reports from Kumba.
This is the work of the Landlords Meeting at Akali Street.
These are members of a quarter meeting known as Landlords Meeting at Akali Street, Akeba 1 in Fiango, Kumbatu subdivision, rehabilitating their roads with local tolls. They believe this will make the many years abandoned road once more passable.
We had some gallop areas in our street, and we decided to see how we can fill them. And with the opportunity of a ground that was, and that's what we are doing. We have been doing it nearly every week, which is the ground is available.
While doing this, they still expect and hope municipal authorities will come to their aid.
The remains of 3 young men who were killed on Sunday around Bangshe locality in Bamenda 1 subdivision, northwest region of Cameroon, have been laid to rest. The dead bodies of the natives of Guzang village, Momo division, were found on the morning of Sunday, March 20, 2022. Katrina Kongwe reports.
Residents of Bamenda still mourn the death of 3 young men whose bodies were found in the Bangshe neighborhood of Bamenda on Monday morning. The 3 youngsters said to have been mechanics are reported to have been killed by soldiers under nuclear circumstances on their way to work. The corpses of the 3, FON Quinter, and Jake, shot dead by soldiers in Bamenda northwest region of Cameroon in the night of Sunday, March 20, 2022, have been transported to their native Guzang village in Batibo Momo subdivision for burial. Some denizens of Bamenda, capital of Cameroon's restive northwest region, have condemned what they say is government provocative silence following the shooting to death of 3 youngsters in the metropolis. Despite the fact that the killing of the 3
among commuters who were undoubtedly confused.
I've been one of this driver that first motor where they shoot 6 tires. We don't come, we don't meet up policeman. He one. If he no break, he no do nothing. As one car, he just nailed down. Start shoot. He shoot 1 tire, who stand. The rest of people when they come from back, they stand. One come out, we no talk, no nothing. We usually shoot not shoot. He shoot not shoot. You know, ask we no nothing, no book, no nothing. You know, ask him. He usually shoot not shoot. I don't know a problem. I don't feel no a problem because the only he one. Oh, and this place, posted the police no different, no control no different. So fit up control where we don't run, no run, no nothing. So another thing way happen.
At a time when insecurity is quite an issue in the country, the least Cameroonians expect from the forces of law and order is to maintain peace and order, not provocative threats on the local and vulnerable population. The unfortunate incidents abound, not forgetting the recent case in which 3 boys were shot in cold blood at the upstation neighborhood in Bamenda, still by military men. In the meantime, the police officer in question is under custody in Limbe, awaiting the hammer of justice. As insecurity looms in the restive northwest and southwest regions, both the law enforcement officers and ordinary citizens are called upon to be law-abiding in order to prevent the recurrence of such despicable actions.
Now, the Senior Division Officer of the Lom and Jerem Division, Donatien Boyomo, has attended a session meant for the adoption of the administrative account of the municipality of Garabulai for the 2022 administrative year. The session was chaired by the city mayor in the presence of other municipal executives of the locality. Joingang completes the story.
Located at the borders between Cameroon and the Central African Republic and the Douala Betwa Bangi, Douala-Jamena corridors, the town of Garabulai, with over 100,000 inhabitants, is a booming municipality in the Lom and Jerem division. The administrative account of the municipality was adopted on March 22 during a plenary session presided at by the city mayor in the presence of the divisional officer, Donatien Boyomo, and his état-major.
The Algerian ambassador, His Excellency Doumer Diemani, in an exchange in Yaoundé, strengthened bilateral ties between Cameroon and Algeria, focused here with the improvement of viral issues both countries share. Colette Lum completes the story.
Cameroon will face Algeria this month in a two-leg tie for one of the 5 spots reserved for Africa in the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022. The first match will take place on March 25 at the Japoma Stadium in Douala. In the preparation for this match, Boumediene Mahi, Algerian ambassador to Cameroon, has been sent to give a request asking the Cameroonian officials to take measures to facilitate access to the stadium for Algerian supporters. The two officials agree to replicate measures applied during the AFCON 2021 semi-final match between Cameroon and Egypt, provided the fans are PCR tested 72 hours before their departure from Algeria. This was during an exchange held in Yaoundé by the two ministers and the Algerian ambassador.
I have been received by His Excellency the Minister, who we discussed many issues that are related to the cooperation between our two countries. I had the great pleasure also to present the request of Algeria to our Mr. the Minister, the request to seek the support of the Cameroon for the African Agency on Medication, and that it was also an opportunity to discuss other issues related to the need of
Abubakar Vincent, while striker Mumingamlu has been withdrawn from the squad due to his injuries sustained in Switzerland with the young boys. A similar situation with Andre Zambo Agisa, who had earlier been programmed for the match. 2 new players have also been added to the Lions' Den. They are 16-year-old Cotonspor of Garoua striker and Golden Boot winner of the 2021 Easter Cup, Patien Waso Ngwe, and 26-year-old German-based player with Hannover 96, Gaia Ondua. While Clinton Jay, Christian Basogok, and Jerome Ongene are amongst 12 others dropped by Coach Rigobert Song. It is worth noting that the double confrontations will be Rigobert Song's first outing with the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon as head coach since his appointment on February 28, 2022. Cameroonians look forward to his output with much enthusiasm. Meanwhile, on the other hand, the Algerian coach Jamel Belmadi has called the upcoming 2-leg world qualification tie against Cameroon the most crucial for Desert Warriors. The Algerian football team is currently in Equatorial Guinea preparing for the twin encounters ahead as pressure on Belmadi to lead his side to Qatar intensified after Algeria's defense of their African Cup of Nations came to a premature end in the group stage of the 2021 tournament in Cameroon. And according to the 2021 classification of best generally private schools in Cameroon, published by the Baccalaureate Board of Cameroon, Duval International is first with a 95.62%. The bilingual school grabbed the first position out of 150 lay private schools in Cameroon. Let's get details in the following advertorial.
Duval International implemented to the benefit of school children.
I feel so happy for my results. It's not just by my grace, but by the grace of the Lord and by the grace also of my teachers, who was always there with me, who was at any time, any break, I will always go and see my teachers, and they will always be with me. They will sacrifice their break to help me in all the qualms I have in my studies. So I'm very happy about the staff of Duval.
Duval International School is not just an institute of learning. It is a home to all, for no one comes in and goes out empty. The motto, Discipline for Progress and Excellence, speaks for itself. Pupils and students are taught the basics needed to integrate society and also given the opportunity to valorize their talents. Emerging #1 of all lay private schools in Cameroon, with the best students in the littoral region and 9th at national level, is not a coincidence, but simply result of hard work and disciplines.
And another thing that enables Duval to be able to achieve this result is because of the good programming. Taking what the government gives, the competence-based approach, we make sure that here in Duval we are able to provide everything at the disposal of teachers.
Duval International School merges theory and practice, which enables children to be ready to fit into society upon graduation. In the science lab, students and pupils are taught how to produce liquid soap, javelin water used in school. The computer lab is highly equipped with sophisticated machines connected to high internet connection, giving access to the world and latest developments. In just 10 years of existence, Duval International School has been able to do what schools could not do. Even those that did took more than 25 years to accomplish. Best students receive financial support and graduates benefit from scholarships offered by Duval's numerous foreign partners. Duval International School, more than just a school, it is a citadel of learning.
We've come to the end of the 6:30 p.m. edition of News on My Media Prime Television. Coming up next is Prime Hour with Kum Leonard and his team. My name is FON Quinter. Have a great evening in the company of more programs on the African Eye. Bye.
Like what we are observing with our MPs today, people think that an MP's role is to come and do micro project grants, not knowing that what is expected of them is to make laws. The case, especially the case of